Hello everybody, it's Aaron back from Screenstars, and I'm here once again to do another review for Geek Legion of Doom. And today's review is for the 2020 found footage science fiction horror film Case 347, a film that is written and directed by Chris Wax, and it stars Maya Stojan, Chris Wax, who is the writer and director, Krista Allen, Jason Kropik, Richard Gilliland, Michael Galante and Kayla Madison. Now, I'm a big fan of found footage films, so I'm always excited, generally speaking, to watch a new one, and this one focuses on a character called Mia, who sets out to Roswell to do a documentary on the phenomenon of alien abduction, etc., in the hotbed of abductions. Her father was seriously into all this sort of stuff. She never really accepted it, so she wants to understand more about it. So she heads off to Roswell with a documentary film crew and starts uncovering some rather disturbing things, and as the film goes on, as you could imagine, things begin to escalate. There are unexplained events going on, and the documentary film crew, as well as others, become increasingly at risk. Right, so what are my thoughts on this film, Case 347? Well, I think fans of found footage films are going to really enjoy this. It's a really well made found footage film that follows the format almost perfectly. You could argue almost too perfectly, because it doesn't deviate away from the typically laid down found footage format. Some might see that as a weakness. I actually see it as a strength, because I think found footage films, if done right, and they follow a fairly simple format, they can be really effective, and I think what we have here is a pretty effective found footage film. You get your usual disclaimer when the film starts. It says the footage that you're about to watch is through obtaining this footage through the Freedom of Information Act, and everything you're about to see is real. Now, I love that. It gets you going straight away. You know it's not, but it gets you ready for the film. You know what I mean? That's the real strength of found footage films. You're supposed to believe that what you're watching is real. It's unfolding under your eyes, and they set it up great. I mean, the first thing you see is somebody being hypnotized, and that again sets it up. It's somebody who witnessed these events. They get hypnotized, and it all comes to the surface. And again, perfect start to the film, and then boom, the film starts. The documentary crew start talking about what they're doing, where they're going. You get usual scenes of them in cars talking, and then you get usual scenes of them interviewing the locals, going to a dad's house, rifling through all his UFO investigation stuff, and it gets a bit routine and humdrum at this point, because it's laying the foundations for later in the film. But some of it is a little bit slow to watch, I suppose you could argue, and then it kind of picks up again when they meet Gustav, who is a former cancer specialist who worked on her father, actually, not a father, a mother, Maya's mother, who is a devout believer in alien abductions, and they kind of get together, put their heads together, and decide to help out this Mexican family who Gustav believes are next in line for an alien abduction. And it really starts picking up again, and these strange events start escalating, and it sets it up perfectly for the usual kind of found footage ending. Cameras everywhere, people charging about, confusing to watch, some glimpses of things here and there, bright lights, all that kind of stuff. So you get the kind of ending that you're wanting in a found footage type film. I think one of the things that also makes this work is the performances. I think all the characters here do a stellar job. All the actors here do a stellar job. The key again to found footage is believing that these are real people, and that they're not acting. They're just, being filmed while they're doing the day-to-day stuff. And everyone does that job really well here. You never really feel someone's putting on a performance here. All the characters feel very real, and the key characters suitably fleshed out, I would say. Certainly Mia's character has a well fleshed out character. Some of the other characters kind of get left by the wayside in regards to backstory and things like that. So when it goes down later in the film, you don't care as much about some of the characters as you probably should do, and crucially I think this Mexican family that they're supposed to be there to try and help, there are a number of members of this family and you never really feel that connected to them other than maybe one, and so therefore, like I say, at the end when it all starts kicking off, you care about so few of the characters. There's only a couple of key members of the characters in the film that you actually care about. So yeah, I think fans of found footage here are going to get a bit of a decent watch. It's predictable, this film. It follows the usual found footage format. It doesn't take risks. It does everything that you would expect a found footage film to do. It just does it pretty well. So therefore it's enjoyable. It follows the format. It doesn't deviate away from it. Puts everything on screen. It feels polished as well when you watch it, in a sense of the way it's filmed. It's got a nice look about it, even though it's all found footage type stuff. It feels high production values. It feels like something, that could get released, get a pretty, big release on Blu-ray, DVDs, even a low-level cinema release, this sort of thing, and you would watch it if you're a found footage fan. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's an above average found footage film, and I think it's certainly worth checking out if it's a genre that you are certainly interested in. So thank you very much for watching the review. I hope you found it useful. And please remember to check back for more reviews on Geek Legion of Doom soon. Thank you very much for watching, everybody.